Hey everyone, Ryan here. So today I just want to show you how I clean my camera bodies and my lenses. Um, I'm not going to show you any sensor cleaning. I don't clean my sensors myself. I always send them away to get them cleaned professionally. But I will show you how I get dust that is accessible out of there. So stay tuned and hope you get something out of this. Alright, so first off, this is my camera cleaning kit. I just have this cheap little plastic container that I picked up from the dollar store. I have a Ziploc bag in here just to keep any dust out of here and help the any of the alcohol in these things just not to evaporate too quick. Yeah, so inside here I have a dust rocket blower. Everyone should have one of these. I have just some cleaning, just some alcohol. This is actually a cleaning alcohol for fiber optic cables. I used to do fiber optic cables, so I had a couple cans of these sitting around. I don't use these on the lenses, but I will use it to clean camera bodies if there's some dirt on them. And I will use that with, sorry if I bumped the camera, I will use that with this microfiber towel. As you can see, it's got some dirt spots on it. But yeah, so I'll use that with this alcohol to clean the camera body, not the lens, just the camera body, or the lens body, but not the actual glass. And I also have a lens pen. This works really good for brushing off dust and whatnot from if there's got a lot of dust or dirt on something, you can brush it off with this. Works really good, easy to throw into the bag. This side is like a little, can't really see that, but it's like a little felt tip. I don't use it. I wouldn't recommend using it. But anyways, I have one of those here. And then I have just a couple more bottles for the alcohol in here. Then I have Zeiss. Let's see if I can get this in focus here. There we go. I have Zeiss lens cleaning wipes. These are actually approved by Zeiss to be good for the actual lenses themselves. So I will use this on the lens. I'm very careful when I do it though, and it works actually fairly well. It doesn't leave any streaks. They won't scratch, and if it's good enough for Zeiss, well, it's good enough for me. That's how I see it. So what I do, I just remove all of the caps, hood, everything. I check out the lens. Let's see if I can get this to focus here. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Close enough. So I just check out the contacts here and make sure they're clean. Make sure there's no dust, dirt on the camera, or on the lens, I mean. And then inside here I check for dust. And then you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but the front element's got this kind of like a film on it. You can see it right there. So I'm going to try and get that off. And yeah, I don't see any dust per se on the lens, but I'll demonstrate what I do to get dust off. I'll throw this rear cap back on. I don't like setting the lens down without it. Alright, so first off, I'll take my blower and I'll blow. Oh, a little bit of dust going away there. I'll blow any dust away. I'll also open this up, try and dislodge any dust that got inside there. There's no real right way to do this, just kind of go at it. This lens has a rear element that's right flush against the mount, so you can see there, so no dust can actually get in the back. Oops, I'm going to get that. Scratch it. Alright. So now if there's anything that didn't come off with that, I will take this lens brush. Man, this thing's getting jammed here. There we go. Take the lens brush and I'll just go like this here. And I'll just brush away. It's a very soft bristled brush. And gets any of the extra dust. You can also get the dust out of the filter ring if you want. You could do it on the back if there's some on the back, but there's none on this one. And then what I'll do is sometimes I'll use this cloth with this alcohol, or I'll just take one of these wipes and I'll wipe down the whole outside, because these wipes you can use to clean the outside, the screens of your camera, anything. So I'll just, you know, but for demonstration purposes, I'll use this one here, and I'll show you what I do with this. So take the alcohol. This alcohol has a nice little squirty on it. Squirt it on there. Make sure you don't have any cuts, and if you do, they'll be nice and clean. And then I just wipe down the outside of the lens with this alcohol. Clean it. And this alcohol won't affect the rubber or anything on the lens. It won't take any of that off. I'll clean everything, even the lens cap. Take the lens cap off. Now, this is where you have to be careful. And what I do is I just put my finger inside here. Find the wet spot. Put my finger inside here, and I'll actually go in here and clean the contacts with this alcohol. And I will also clean this ring and the rubber here. I'll just take my finger and do this. When you mount and unmount the lenses on a camera, a lot of times you'll get some black in there. As you can see, there's a lot of the black come off there. It doesn't really affect camera performance, but I like to have it clean. And you don't really want, on lenses, you don't really want this oil or this stuff that you get on here onto the contacts, because it could hinder performance or camera reading the lens, and you don't really want to get it on the rear lens. So, but don't use this cloth to clean the rear lens. So yeah, so the outside of the lens is pretty clean, as you can see. It's nice and shiny. Put that to the side, and we'll get onto the actual lens itself. So as you can see, this lens has some little, I don't know what that is. Must have been, maybe it's fingerprints or something. I don't know what it is. So what I do is I take the lens wipe, just come apart. I bought these in a pack of 100, I think. They do just rip open. Of course, it's going to be hard today because I'm trying to make a video. Anyways, it's just this little thing. It's like a hand towelette kind of thing. Open it up, and then I just take it, and if there's any dust on here, make sure you brush it away first. Make sure you work from the center, and I just lightly, very lightly, work from the center outwards. And give it a second to dry, and as you can see, that spot is gone. There's no spots. It's perfect. I'll take the back off, and I'll do the rear element really, really carefully. Just like that. There we go. And then, before this dries out, because it does have alcohol in it, I will take it and I'll wipe down the lens hood. The lens hood gets dirt on it, gets all sticky. This one doesn't have felt inside, so I'll just wipe the inside as well. And I'll also do the hood, or the cap. Just like that. There. Now this Nikon 24-70 pretty much is perfectly clean. There's no speck of dust. Oh wait. There's a speck of dust. Let's blow that away. There we go. Now there's no more dust on this lens. No more fingerprints. That's how I clean all of my lenses. I think it works pretty good for me. Gets all fingerprints off. And this lens wipe is approved by Zeiss, and it's actually for the optics on your lenses. So yeah, so I just use them because they're super easy to use. Not the cheapest thing on planet Earth, but they work really, really good. Now on to the camera body. Alright, so this is my Nikon D500 camera body. I've been using it for a couple months now, haven't been cleaned. So yeah, I'll just kind of show you quickly how I clean this camera. I'm not going to do a full cleaning. If I was doing a full cleaning, I'd actually take this plate off and clean the whole thing, but I'm not going to do a full cleaning because it's not really that dirty. It's a lot of just fingerprint, finger grease, hand grease, and there's a little bit of dust. No dirt on this camera. So yeah, so I'll just show you how I do this. So first thing I'll do is I'll take off the lens cap, and I will look inside on the mirror to see if there's any dust inside there. And a lot of times you kind of got to turn it a bit to see it. I don't have one of those lens or those looker things, just because I can tell usually when I take a picture if there's a spot on the mirror or if there's a spot actually on the sensor itself. I can usually tell in the viewfinder or when I take the picture that there's actually spots there, and that's how I know there's spots. So first thing I'll do is I'll take my trusty little blower. These are like dirt cheap on Amazon. And I'll turn the camera body upside down like this, and I will just blow inside. I'll show you. Just kind of like this on an angle. upside down, but just for demonstration purposes, I do that. That gets any dust off the mirror, off the mechanism in there. Just it gets any of the stray dust particles out of there. Then I'll go into the camera body. Find it quickly here. And I'll lock mirror up for cleaning. Hit start. And when you push the shutter button, the mirror goes up. So you can actually blow dust right off the sensor. So I'll do the same thing. Using caution. Don't stick the nozzle right in there because you do not want to touch anything inside there. And just hold it upside down. Blow it out. There. Just going to do a visual inspection because I'm doing this in front of the camera. There we go. Looks good. So when you actually turn the camera off, the shutter will flip back down, and you go ahead and put the lens cap back on. Alright. So now I know the sensor's clean, mirror's clean. Then what I'll do is I will unscrew. I use this DK19 eye cups on my cameras. So what I'll do is I'll actually take that off. So on the D800, to get that off, it just unscrews. But to get that off, you have to close this little aperture on the eyepiece. You actually have to close it because it locks it in. And then you just screw it off. Just like that. So what I'll do is I'll clean this way. And I'll clean the front and the back. Because if you're sweating and you're using this a lot, some of your sweat or whatever dust will get behind here as well. Make sure you keep this closed, because if you open it up, I'll show you. There's actually more elements inside there. I don't really want to have to clean those, so I just keep it closed. So to clean this, I will take my microfiber cloth, because it's just a cheap little piece. It's not that expensive, and you're just looking through it. And I'll take the alcohol, find a clean spot, straight on there, and then I'll just wipe it. Just wipe it with the alcohol. And I'll wipe the rubber too, because the rubber gets dusty and gets eye grease, I guess you could call it. Gets grease on it. Anyways, I find these little eye thingies, they don't perfectly get clean all the time, but that works pretty good, I think. That looks not too bad. So I'll just leave that off for now. And as you can see, if you can tell, but this rear screen, oh there you go, you can see it's really dirty. It's just filthy. Top screen, same thing. I mean, these screens get so dirty because they're right up against your eyes all the time, or your face. Not your eyes, your face. So I'll just take the cloth again, find that spot that I was using, and I will spray it down with a little bit more alcohol. And you can use the lens wipes to clean the camera bodies. I don't, just because they're a little more expensive. So I just take this and clean the whole thing. Clean everything, where your fingers go on the rubber, all the buttons, clean them. The top, I get really good in the grip right here where my fingers rest. Shutter button, all these buttons. Just get everything really good. Buttons over here, front of it, bottom. Sorry, trying to do this through a camera. And there we go. So pretty much that's pretty clean. As you can see, it's got all the dust off the camera, any fingerprints, any dirt. If there was more dirt that I couldn't get off, or there was a really tight spot that there was some dust, say, in a button, I could use the blower. I could use the lens pen even if I needed to. Don't recommend it, because if you're going to use this for your lenses, don't use it on your camera body, because we're on lots of dirt. And these things I would recommend replacing after a while, because these things will get dirty and you don't want scratching your lenses. Like I said, I could use a lens cleaning wipe to do the same thing. If I don't have this with me, I'll just use these here to do the same thing. It's not that big a deal. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention is I will use this to find the spot I was using. Yeah, right here. There's a wet spot. I will actually go in here and hold up like this really carefully without touching anything else, and I'll clean the contacts inside the camera just like that. You can use a Q-tip for this too, but I don't recommend it because Q-tips can sometimes leave stuff behind. And I'll also wipe down this part of the mount, just inside there a little bit. There we go. And you see there's some black gunk on there as well. So I'll do that. keeps the camera looking nice and clean. Oh yeah, don't forget to put your eyepiece back on. I think I just put a fingerprint on it. Oh well. That just screws right back on there. Boom. There. And then I'll go and I'll throw this in the bag. So every time I come back from out shooting and my cameras get rained on or get water or dirt or dust, tons of fingerprints, I will bring them home and I'll do all of that cleaning. I'll clean the lenses all the same, and I'll clean the camera bodies the same as well. I just use this alcohol. You can use any type of alcohol to clean the outside of the camera. I like to use alcohol because it always keeps the camera looking nice, and I especially do this cleaning, and very thoroughly, I'll do this cleaning when I buy a used camera or lens. So, yeah, so anyways, hopefully that helped you. Maybe you can take something away from that.